Okay, today we're going to talk about the pathway to happiness. Now, this is something that's close to my heart, and I want people to understand this because I feel that there's a lot of people out there that aren't happy. That is part of the spiritual consciousness map, which is made up and run by kinesiology, where there were thousands of people in the audience that were all over this 200 level that tested for numbers, and that's how they get this chart comes about with Dr. David Hawkins. 1,000 is where Jesus would be. 500 is the dividing line between where science cannot go over that because everything is subjective after that. But 200 is the dividing line between positive and negative thinking. And that's where I want to get people to move from being below 200 up above 200. Because that's where you get happiness. You can't really understand it when you're stuck down here in all these different levels where it seems like in the United States, about almost 3 out of 5 people are below 200, and they don't know why, and they don't know how to get out of it. So that's what we're talking about, is rising up or expanding out to where you're beyond 200 and you start to experience life as a positive, vibrant experience of what your life is about. So it could be that you're in pain all the time and you're up here in your consciousness, or you're a lot of them it's ego and pride where they have a tough time getting by that. That is so hard to get beyond sometimes for people. There are leaders that have actually killed millions of people because they don't want to give up their ego. The ego knows nothing beyond itself. It definitely cannot connect up with the things in the universe that are around it. It thinks that the center of the universe is within the ego, and it won't let go of that. And pride, you got politicians and church people and bankers and lawyers, doctors, all these people that cannot get past their ego. So that's a real big challenge. But the whole point of that is all you have to do is realize that you are not the center of the universe, that there's stuff going on outside of yourself. And the ego doesn't know anything about that, but it's like, can you connect up with what's around you, with the environment around you, with the trees, with your house, with the people around you, to realize that you're just a small part of a huge, big world. As I like to say, you're a pea in a pea pod in a big field, and you're not the center of it. But going down through some of these levels that are below 200, just knowing that there's a map here and that it's been figured out, and that if you're at a level in here, you don't have to stay there. You can move beyond that is really exciting. And the possibilities are that you can have a wonderful life, that you can experience happiness and joy in your life. And once you start to get there, you wonder, why did I live my whole life thinking I was the only one and it was all about me, me, me? Because it's not. So if you start down, you can go at 175, 195, pride and arrogance. And that's the tough nut to crack sometimes. It's like people live in a hall of mirrors. Every place they look around, there's a mirror, and they see a reflection of themselves. It's not the door that's over there. It's just that it's part of what I'm thinking about. And that light down in the next room or that chair is not really there. It's just a reflection of my personality. It's just, all you have to do is have enough courage and empowerment to recognize that you are not the center of everything. If you can do that just for an instant, if you can just start to do that, you can start to move on into the levels above and beyond 200, where you can experience joy and peace and happiness and fulfillment and contentment. All those things that are positive attractor fields and not negative attractor fields. But down below pride you have anger, people that are angry, and below that is desire, below that is fear, and then grief, apathy. You know, if someone's in apathy, they won't even eat. That it's so bad that they won't even eat. But gosh, if they can get past apathy and start crying and having emotions that are still making you feel bad, because the payoff about negativity is just that. It's that. It's like watching a slasher movie or something. You get some emotions. You get to feel something. And that's the payoff. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else good about it. That's not good either, but people think, well, they'll spend their whole life there without realizing they can go beyond that. But if you get beyond the apathy, you'll start to eat, and at least you'll feel something, even if it's fear. Like, you can equate this with even whole nations that this has happened to, where Germany invaded Poland, and those people, oh, we can't do anything about those big Germans. They're just, and it's nothing against that country there. I'm just saying that then some people would get angry. They go, oh, look what they've done to our country, and they would have anger, and then they would want to fight back against that, and eventually get up into this area where it just is. There's so many people that are stuck in pride and arrogance, and a lot of times they're in positions of power where they really shouldn't be there. One of the things that really hurts is that the people making movies today, if 3 out of 5 of them or more, in Hollywood it's probably 4 out of 5 people that are negative, making those movies, making TV programs and making movies that are all oriented negatively. So while so many people watch those things, and that's an example of how they think the world is, it makes it worse because they're programming people in a negative way over and over and over again.